Hey everyone, this is a guitar tutorial for Plead the Blood by Chris Davenport featuring Brandon Lake and Cody Carnes. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to my channel or give this video a like and comment below on what else you'd like to see in the future. Additionally, if you're interested in any of the gear that you see today, there are links in the description below. And last but not least, if you'd like to donate to the channel, you can click the icon that's next to the like button, and there should be a menu that comes up that says thanks, and you can go from there. I really appreciate it. All right, grab your acoustic guitar. You're going to need a capo today, and let's get started. All right, the capo is going to go on the 5th fret. We're going to be playing in the key of G to match the original key, which is C. And you may be wondering, why am I playing so high on the guitar? I could just play it without a capo. It's the same chord. C with no capo is the same thing as capo 5 and playing in G. Well, there is one main reason for that, and that's just called voicing. When you watch the music video, you see multiple acoustic guitar players, Brandon Lake included, putting that capo on the 5th fret and playing in G. And you have that higher voicing that really comes through the mix. Now, you could, again, play it without a capo. If you really don't have one, you still can. And I'll put a transposition down below just so you can have that resource. But in this song, and in this case, it's all about the voicing. So it's really how it sounds, not necessarily how it looks or how it feels. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about something that could be played probably easier without a capo. But for this song, for some reason, multiple acoustic guitar players in the video, Brandon Lake included, like I said, are using capo 5 playing in G. So here are the chords you need to know. G, G over B, G over D, D, C, E minor. All right, let's start with G because there's multiple versions of G. I'm going to put my middle finger down on the 3rd fret relative to the capo, index finger on the A string, 2nd fret, and ring finger and pinky will go down the high E and B strings of the 3rd fret. Now this is just the G chord, strumming everything. Now in the beginning, you'll notice that Brandon Lake, I believe, is playing the part that you're hearing, and he doesn't actually play the high E, or if he does, it's very, very minimal. So kind of stopping where that ring finger is playing that B string, just something to keep in mind. Again, when it comes to the sound and the voicing of the song, that's what you're really hearing, just that high B 3rd fret. All right, now to play G over B, I'm just going to lift off the middle finger slightly, and now it's blunting the low E string, or your thumb could do that job as well, and you're keeping everything the same. Just can't strum the low E. Then to play G over D, you're just lifting off the top 2 fingers and letting your ring finger and pinky stay where they are. Now I can only strum the D string down for this. That's G over D. To play D, I'm going to put the index finger on the G string, 2nd fret, middle finger, high E, 2nd fret also, ring finger, B string, 3rd fret, and again, I can only strum the D string down. For the C chord, I'm putting my middle finger down on the 3rd fret A string, index finger, D string, 2nd fret, and you can put your ring finger and pinky back down again on the high E and B of the 3rd fret. And finally, the E minor, index finger and middle finger are pressing the A and D strings of the 2nd fret, and I can strum everything. All right, so those are all the chords you need to know. I'm going to go over some strumming patterns after we play through the song. Don't worry, I'll put the chords on screen for you, and I'll say them as we go along. Here we go. G, G over B, C, G over B, G over D, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, G over D, C, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, G over B, G over D, C, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, G over B, C, G over B, G over D, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, G over D, C, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, E minor, D, G over B, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, E minor, D, G over B, 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 C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, E minor, D, G over B, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G, C, G over B, D, C, G, C, G over B, D, C, E minor, D, G over B, 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 C, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, E minor, D, G over B, C, E minor, D, G over B, C, G over B, D, G over B, C, G over B, C, G over B, D, C, G, C, G over B, G over D, C, G over B, C, G over B, G over D, C. Well, everyone, I hope that I was able to help you out with that tutorial. If your fingers don't look like mine and you have the big indentation by the ring finger, you're doing it wrong. Just kidding. But that song is really, really tough because your ring finger hardly ever moves. So if you have to and you want to change to the regular C chord on occasion instead of sticking with the C2, basically, I think that's okay. And especially if you're wanting to save your fingers, totally understandable. Let's talk about a strumming pattern real quick. And this is a 6/8 song. So you're counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the main pattern, if you're playing the chorus, it sounds like this. G, G over B, C, G over B, D, C. Now without strumming chords, just the right hand. And a little slower. And even slower. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. All right, and you might have noticed, especially in the beginning when it's very chill, you want to hold the pick loosely so that you can have that dynamic range because this song is fairly long. And for a worship song, it's actually average being around 8 minutes. But all that aside, when you're strumming the beginning, you want to make sure you're holding the pick loosely. This definitely feels very chill, and it helps the song build because by the time you get to the bridge part, you want to have that range from one end of the spectrum to the next. So just keep that in mind when you're playing acoustic because you can really help the percussion out. Technically, the acoustic guitar is a percussive instrument, and when you're strumming like this, even without chords, you're technically making yourself a percussive instrument. So just something to think about. And I know I keep saying percussive. It should be just percussion. Anyway, I'm in school, guys, so I'm going to shut this video off. And I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Comment below on what else you'd like to see in the future. And speaking of which, yes, this is filmed in school. Technically, it's the last video that I'll be doing here at school because I'll be switching careers. So just pray over all the students that I've impacted and hopefully the seeds that will be planted and that have been planted, that the Lord will impact their lives and they would listen and hear his voice. All right. Thank you so much and have a great week. God bless.